Hey, what's up everybody? It's BATJAC J.W. and we're doing a video on what I did to this gun right here. And what you're looking at is the Cimarron Rooster shooter, made by Pieta, Italy, imported by Cimarron. And I first laid eyes on this pistol in a magazine. I believe it was American Rifleman or something like that. And I just had to have it. Being a John Wayne fan and everything, this was definitely something I had to have. So let's get started with it and what I did with it and why. And there's actually quite a lot of history with me and this gun. So I first got it as when you first get, if you're looking at buying the Rooster shooter, it is from their Hollywood lineup, I guess. It's supposed to replicate John Wayne's gun as you would see it in, I guess, the museum or whatnot. So when I first saw it, the first thing that attracted me to it was its grips. It had those aged yellow type style grips that you see on John Wayne's pistol and countless ones of his movies, pretty much from the mid 60s and on. That's what he had. First time I think you can notice it is in, I could be wrong, I'm not an expert, never claimed to be, is from Sons of Katie Elder. I believe that's when he first showed up with them, and then from then on he pretty much always had them. So they're kind of cool, and when I bought this, that's what it was all about for me. Although the finish, like I said, it was just like a stripped gun. It really just had no finish on it. And upon handling it a bunch, and I noticed, wow, it started to rust on me. So I had this great idea. I thought maybe I'll put some cold bluing on it and try that. And I was on my way to try to do that. And when it took a drop and actually broke the original grips that the gun came with, which in a weird sense, it was, you could say it was a blessing, because what led to me designing and making my own grips, as what you see here featured on this gun now, are my own grips. And I'm gonna insert a little bit right now because a lot of people have asked because this gun actually was featured in a short film that was done by the Riffle brothers. And it's this one right here, which I actually went to the premiere. Let me see if I can get it in frame. It's called John Doe Western Tale, and I got the actors and actresses to sign it for me, especially the ones they carried my gun. So here's the information on it on the bottom. Really cool. So this to get to see this on the big screen and see my gun featured in that movie was pretty cool. So that's another question I've gotten recently a lot, which movie was this featured in. So that's pretty cool to have that associated with it. So all right, the finish on it. I did this finish actually with a friend of mine, Cody. Sort of a lot of you to go way back with the channel. My good buddy Cody. We did this at his house. Of course, I stripped the gun completely, took out all the parts and everything, and I actually did this with, if I remember right, it's Birchwood Casey's plum brown bluing. And what we did was we took a torch and we heated this gun up. It was either a torch or a heating gun, one of the two. It was many years ago. And we just really heated this thing up and slathered that stuff on it, like really with no uniform to it whatsoever, and just started slathering that stuff all over this thing. And it was a disaster. It looked horrible. It looked like I ruined the gun. It just turned it into red rust immediately. I really thought the gun was ruined. It was such a mess. It was by anywhere near professional or in a sense knowing what I was doing. Just kind of briefly reading the instructions on the bottle. But in the long run, this is what actually turned out. Now the cylinder was done first. I'll actually go ahead and yank the cylinder from this thing so you can take a better look at it. The cylinder is what we did first, and all the wear actually happened over the years, especially in front here. That's from it being holstered a lot, but it took to it really well. In fact, the cylinder was so nice and dark and rich that it was pretty impressive. And then so of course we did the rest of the gun, and that's kind of what we got out of it. And of course, you know, curing it with the oil and whatnot that we had, but all the like the backstrap area where you handle it a lot wound up wearing on itself and coming off, and then you see that. And of course, the grips that I made and put on it kind of help accommodate all the look and the wear on this gun. So, but yeah, that's what I did. It was that plum brown bluing stuff that it's pretty much a rust finish. And I must say, the gun has never had any rust issues ever since then. A little bit about it, the gun itself, it doesn't. That's all one piece. That doesn't come out of there like the like old original like first generation Colts and stuff, which doesn't bother me too much. I mean, I really enjoy the pistol. It's one of my favorites, for sure, and it's just got a nice smooth action too. Now they're expensive. Now my thought on it now looking back is, I mean, of course I bought it strictly for the grips, but you could do this yourself to one of their cheaper models for say. You could just take it and strip the bluing off of it with, you can buy like some solution by Birchwood Casey in your local sporting goods store or whatnot, and do it yourself, and then just kind of strip the original bluing off and then do this aged finish to it. But in a way, like I said, this was a kind of an interesting yet happy mistake that had happened, because I didn't expect it to come out this way, but it just did. And I've had many compliments on it when I've taken it to the range or had it out and about. People have actually asked me like, wow, how old is that thing? I mean, does that even still work? Which is kind of funny because it's a brand new gun. I mean, you can still go buy them. You can still find them out there, and I've seen them at gun shows. I've seen it at Sportsman's Warehouse and whatnot. But it's just kind of unique because for me, there's not another one like it, because this one, you know, I kind of created everything on it, the grips, the finish, and everything. So it's just kind of its own beast in a sense. But there again, I mean, you know, I've had a lot of questions on it. A lot of people ask me, hey, how did you do that? What did you do? So that's what I did. We heated it up with a heat gun or a torch, one of the two. Like I said, I don't really remember. And we were just like taking a paintbrush or something and slathering that stuff on just over and over and over. And really, there was like that couple of moments there where I thought, like, I even looked at Cody and said, I don't know, man, I think we just ruined this thing. But, you know, even in the end, I mean, when we were done, well, like I said, we saw the cylinder first, and he was like, actually, wow, that turned out really nice. I said, yeah, you're right. So ever since then, it's been kind of, you know, the star of the channel in many ways. And then those grips, these wound up being just a set that I had thrown on there. And the cool thing about them is those are the grips that was featured in that movie, a short film. And so that was pretty cool, you know, to have that come that far, to being somebody that knew nothing about how to do something like this, to achieving something that was, you know, somewhat pretty good, decent looking, and then now it's on the big screen, to have seen it that way. And that's pretty amazing to me. And of course, that's also Santee over at Ghost Riders. He had received, he was the first guy to ever buy a set from me, which I never intended to ever sell him. So, but there it is. That's a little story on it and what I did to it. Do not have any video footage of doing so, because I really did not know how it was going to turn out. And this was very early on, if not before doing stuff with the YouTube thing. I don't really remember. Kind of hard to believe that I've been doing the YouTube stuff for 5 years, coming up here on July 4th, which we'll have to talk about that on the channel and everything. So, but there you have it. I'm BATJAC J.W. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you for those that have been watching the content in its entirety and making it to the ends of the videos, because I guess you were definitely interested in this stuff. I always thought to make a channel that was definitely different and not of your normal, typical stuff out there, where I started doing stuff that I liked and was interested in. And it's nice to see that there's, over 20,000 subscribers and that think the same. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.